Hello and welcome to Weekly Wildlife Wisdom. Today we're going to be talking all about the beautiful bird that is the bullfinch. And I know that some of you will watch this and you won't have bullfinches where you are in the world. And that's okay because there are lots and lots of different there are lots of finches in the world, and their messages are interconnected and interrelated. So if you like to discover the nearby finches to you, if that's something that you're interested in, what you can do is find out which finches live near you, tune into which one you think draws you intuitively, and then just tune into what you think their specific message is for you. And you'll be able to receive that if you allow yourself to get still, maybe do a little bit of focused breathing, and just allow that guidance to come in for you. But we're going to focus on bullfinch today. Again, the timing is amazing. I was thinking about this week and who wanted to come forward with a message, as I always do. And hi Susie, lovely to have you here. You're so welcome as always. And I asked Spirit to bring whoever it was that wanted to share their message with us for this week. And I was aware in my mind's eye of the significance of tomorrow, which is the 11th of January. Because astrologically speaking, and I'm not an expert at all, it's a very significant shift. And I'm going to read a little bit. I don't fully understand it myself, but basically there's going to be a shift in our priorities, which we may or may not be consciously aware of at the moment. And the good news with astrology is you don't really need to be. But being aware of what's happening can sometimes just help you to listen to what's going on within you and to think, okay, that makes sense now. And I often find I start to feel shifts coming, and then I read about the astrology and it's incredible. Wow, that's describing how I've been feeling, you know. So I do that often, and I have a couple of astrologers that I listen and receive their emails from, which is really helpful. And apparently it's a lunar node shift. And it only happens every 18 years. So it's very, very unusual. And it's all about our life's purpose and where we're heading. And it's moving to the Virgo Pisces axis, which again, I won't go into, but if you're interested, you can look, you can find out more about this. And it is a turning point. So it's not like everything just changes, you know, tomorrow's the 11th. Oh, everything's changed in my life. It never works like that. It's like markers in the flow of life. And so it's just about being aware how you might feel your priorities are starting to shift or change, and noticing that and being aware of that and thinking about what that means for you in your life as you go forward for the next 18 years. And basically, to cut a long story short on the astrology, it's about setting intentions. And the peak time to do that is tomorrow. But obviously the days around it are also very powerful too. So sitting perhaps with your guides, angels, ancestors, God, however you connect with that higher power that's greater than just you, and feeling into the intentions or the desires that you would like to bring into your life over this next 18-year period. And what that might be and how you want to serve and be of service in this world. We've certainly got an awful lot of areas in our experience of life right now where we can be of great service. And I think the bullfinch stepped forward because that fits perfectly. So after I'd asked the question, who is it this week? Literally, I think it was the next morning after I'd asked it before I went to sleep the night before, on Wednesday, I was looking out of my window downstairs into our big super hedge, which is absolutely enormous. And this big male bullfinch was sat. He wasn't looking at me, but he knew I was there, and he was eating the last of the seeds from last autumn, and also picking on new fresh buds from the hedgerow as well, which is his favourite things to be eating. And his energy was just luminous, and I was mesmerised by him. I don't know how long for, but for as long as he was there, and he was hopping around a little bit. And they've got this beautiful, bright pink, like salmon pink chest, and a black head that's like a helmet. It's really, really distinguished. And then he's got grey, dark grey on the tops of his wings. Beautiful colouring, really stunning. If you don't know what bullfinches look like, do type in after this on your search engine and find out what the Eurasian bullfinch looks like, because they are spectacular. The females are a lot more muted. The males are the ones that have the beautiful colours, and they are amazing beings. And I just knew that it was him that wanted to come forward in that moment, as it always is the case. And I asked him what the main messages were that he wanted to bring through. And I got 2 words: hope and resilience. And it really, again, just was so obvious and so powerful. And so that's what I'd like to talk with you a little bit more about today. So have a think about how this translates into your life experience at the moment, how you're feeling, what's happening, what's showing up in your life, and what desires and intentions you would like to bring into your life more fully, to develop, or something possibly brand new that you want to initiate as we head into this new 18-year period, which is for a lot of us quite the significant part of the rest of our lives. So it's a really big thing, and really worth just taking some space and taking some time to sit with and to ponder and to ask for guidance and assistance. So hope and resilience. I mean, I don't know about you, but everything that I see at the moment, I'm not everything, but a good percentage of things that I'm reading about or seeing in the media, in the news, makes me very concerned for what on earth we are heading into at this point in our history and what's going to come of it. There is a lot of destruction. Again, back to astrology and what I learned, that at the beginning of 2020 was going to be the beginning of a massive shift and transformation. And a lot of that is to do with destruction. And some of that is the destruction and falling away of old systems that are really needing to be let go of. And thank goodness they are crumbling. But there's also a lot of destruction around nature and wildlife and the planet and the health of the planet, and indeed the likelihood of our survival here on the planet. Because if we ruin our ability to have clean water, clean air, food and nutrition, we are not going to be here. So there's an awful lot at play, and it's very easy, very natural for us to get worried and concerned about that. However, the message from the bullfinch, which I think permeates through all wild beings, in whatever shape or form they are, and that is to respond in the way that is the most effective, and that is to stay in the moment as much as we can, to stay with the here and now, to listen to our guidance, to listen to the guidance we receive from our beautiful ancestors and guides and angels, and to do what we can with the life that we have right in front of us, right where we are, right here and now, and to have that hope and that belief that we can make changes and act on things as long as we're coming from our higher self, not our wounded, irrational, lower vibrating self, which we all have to varying degrees. But when we rise up above that and we can tune into our higher self from our heart and ask how we can serve, which is very much linked to these intentions, we are then able to ripple out into the world in a way that does make a difference. We might not physically know all of the differences that might make, but rest assured that that ripple effect, you imagine if we're all doing that, rippling out positive, service in the world for the good of everyone. However, we might judge it as being just something small or something that nobody else would know about. It really is making a difference. And the wild ones all know this. They all know that they are sacred and that they emanate a beautiful energy into the world. And they work in their purpose for their whole life. And they're not nearly as frightened of dying as we are, generally. As in humans, some of us are absolutely terrified of it, and that causes us all sorts of challenges as we get older, particularly. They aren't caught up in that, and they know that life then is preceded by a death of that life and then a rebirth and so on and so forth, and they know that. And so that's a good thing for us to maybe explore for ourselves as well. And the hope that comes from knowing that this is our life that we are living, which is precious and sacred, but at some point we will dissolve. Our physical body will dissolve and go back to the earth, but our spirit, our soul, however, whatever language you choose to use around that, will continue into the ether, and the energy from us will not be lost, and it will be reformed in some way, shape, or form. I don't have the answers to what that might be. I don't really feel the need to know. I just know that that is how things are. My belief system strongly feels that, and I always have from being a young child. So explore that for yourself, because obviously we all have our own beliefs and things that feel right for us. And the resilience is also around looking after ourselves, self-care. It's popping up all over the place. And I think sometimes it gets misunderstood. But really what we're saying is keeping ourselves fit for our purpose so that we can get up in the morning and, yes, handle whatever's happening in our life, whether we have medical things that we need to tend to within our body to help heal ourselves. We probably need to get support from the right places that feel authentic for us. And we are adapting and being flexible around what's showing up in our life. So it's not as if we imagine a perfect life and there we are, we're fully balanced and healed and whole. I don't think that is the purpose of living. Susie saying, yes, all of us sending out ripples in the moment at the same time. Yeah, it's very powerful, and it's easy to lose sight of that with everything that we're seeing, what we're being bombarded with around us about what others are up to on the planet, and various interpretations of what they might be up to and what they are and aren't doing. So staying focused on us is very important. Self-healing, getting help from others who are qualified and a good match for you to help yourself to heal. Small acts of kindness, I think they're also wonderful. Susie's saying, well, we wouldn't want life to be boring. I love that. Yeah, exactly. No chance of that, Susie, I don't think. So, yes, doing things for others can often be the main way that we would think of small acts of kindness. But I also want to extend that into small acts of kindness for ourselves as well, because it's so important. The parts of us that are scared, frightened, maybe traumatized children of various ages within us need our love and care. They don't need to be shouted at and criticized, belittled and or ignored, or bullied. They need nurturing care, and they need to be given an environment that we as an adult, in our observer mode as adult, and in our maturing sense of higher self and higher purpose, can give that to our inner child, and we can help to allow ourselves to be able to step through fear and anxiety into new possibilities that open up for us with hope and with a resilience that says we'll be okay, we're all right, we've got the support of our beautiful guides and ancestors and angels and whoever you call in that are for your highest good, and we can trust in them. They will help us and support us, but ultimately we are the vehicle for our life, and we do need to then act and take steps forward wisely and in right timing. And a lot of that's about that need for us to get still and centered each day, to be grounded into the earth, and to find ways of doing that that work for us as individuals, because we're all different. We have different lifestyles and different beliefs, which is part of the diversity on earth. And also caring for others, our family and our community, and I include all species in that, whatever your heart calls to you to get involved more fully with, in whatever ways, is also beneficial, and it also shows us that we have power, personal power, to impact and make positive difference in the world around us. And that's really important, because I think as soon as we start to think, well, there's nothing I can do, and what am I can't do anything about it, and it's all hopeless and I'm helpless, then we really can take a downward spiral into all sorts of difficult places that we weren't born to be in that place. We were born to be beautiful, powerful co-creators, bringing forward beautiful service with a life of purpose, and doing that from a place of passion and love, unconditional love, and desire to be a good force in the world. So that's really, really important. And I think they were the key two things that this beautiful bullfinch shared with me through a beautiful heart message. He didn't talk to me. Animals don't talk, but they send their thoughts, they send their feelings, visuals, and they send emotions with their thought forms. And that's what I felt from this beautiful bullfinch. And with hope, think about the language that we use when we talk with others, when we talk to ourselves, either chattering at home by yourself, I do a lot, or whether it's internal thoughts. The language that we use is very, very powerful. Many years ago, I studied for quite a few years a discipline called neuro-linguistic programming, and it's a very fancy title. But within that, a lot of the time we learned how to think about and feel into the language that is most helpful to us, and the impact of the words and the meanings of those words that we use. So a really lovely thing for you to do, again, from a place of comforting and nurturing yourself, to learn to use language as a positive help, as a hopeful help in your life, is just to start to get curious about what language do you currently use. There are a lot of phrases that we use, like, somebody's saying the other day about, oh, I died inside. And I just thought, ooh, yeah, that's not necessarily the message I would want to be telling my unconscious to be focusing on. So it's not about becoming negative and judgmental about it. It's about going, ooh, do I really want to be telling myself that and bringing that into my manifesting world? And then finding alternatives that serve you better. So sort of doing a bit of an audit and noticing what you are saying out loud and internally, and wondering how you could change that so that you are giving yourself positive intentions. Another word that I hear a lot is, I'm going to try and do this. And I love Yoda from Star Wars saying there is no try, just do, basically. I don't think that's the exact quote, but just do things. So if you're going to do something, do it. It doesn't mean to say you have to be perfect or get it right, whatever that means, but don't try and do something, or I'm going to try and make this work. Say it in a way that that allows you to feel the hope and the support that it is possible. It might take a long time, it might be instantaneous, but I am going to spend more of my time this year devoted to supporting wildlife charities, as an example. That is a positive statement that my unconscious can go, Oh, okay, let's start noticing things that are popping up around us that will make us go, ooh, that looks interesting. How can I support? So think about your language. Also, gratitude falls into that as well. And that's a lot about resilience as well. So doing daily gratitude is really helpful. And I always love the example of the songbirds singing in the new dawn, singing in the new night and the end of the sunlight of the day, and how for me that always sounds like gratitude and love, and giving thanks for that day and for the food that they've had and the water and for the sunshine and the warmth and whatever else they've received in that day. And I always think that it's a beautiful thing for us to remember to do, and it makes us feel better when we're listing and thinking about everything that we have to be grateful for. So again, what we're thinking and saying and our actions ripple out, as I said earlier. So that stock check on the language that you're using is really not just for you, it's also for everybody else's benefit as well. Yeah, and how am I doing on time? Because I'm conscious that I've talked a lot. Yeah, I think we'll probably draw it to a close there. I think that's the essence of what Bullfinches were wanting to share. And I hope that's prompted some inner work for yourself, and to just get curious and think about what your intentions are for the long, it's pretty long term, 18 years, isn't it? And I'm not suggesting you make a detailed plan of what you're going to do for the next 18 years. It's more about intentions of, I want to be giving as much positive service, this is for me, to the support of protecting and nurturing wildlife and nature as I can, and I'm open to all opportunities to do that more fully. I'm open to doing more work where I help to communicate to others about the importance of nature and wildlife and how we can help to protect them, and just feeling into intentions, and for that long term. I mean, for me, I've always wanted to be serving wildlife and nature. So it is very clear. If you're not so clear, just follow what your heart's desires are immediately saying, and that's okay. What you want to help with most in the world. It could be around nature, it could be around children, it could be whatever it is for you, as long as it's doing no harm, and just allowing yourself to explore that. So, oh, thank you, Susie. Happy 11-1, or you just call it 111, don't you? Read it the other way around. But yeah, the 111, which is very powerful as well in numerology terms. So let go and trust. That's what I also want to end this with. Let go and trust once you sow the seeds. Mindful of your language, what you do want, not what you don't want, and any patterns that you have that might be sabotaging you unconsciously, let them go and allow yourself to find beautiful, positive ways of voicing and bringing into life the desires that you have to do good in this world. So I'm going to love you and leave you there. Thank you so much for watching. I'd love to hear from you with your comments and questions as always. Please do like if you've enjoyed this here on YouTube, because that really helps to get the videos distributed more widely. I should be here next Friday, the 17th. We'll see how things are, what's turned up in life, but I'll let you know one way or the other sort of midweek, as I normally do. So lots of love, sending you hope and resilience and beautiful intention setting abilities that you already have, and enjoy the process of thinking that and bringing that into a beautiful vision. Share that with your guides and your support networks. Lots of love, and see you all again, hopefully all being well, next week. Take care. Bye for now. Bye.